And it was like a punch in the face. Like, oh yeah, why am I not painting? I love painting. Why am I seeing this as anything differently? Just because I'm holding a little tablet and a little stylus in my hands does not mean that I can't paint with this. I'm going to take some of these lights and throw them back in his face, and then this is going to be the end of this one. Just a couple more minutes left. Now in this one I am talking while I'm painting. I'm not cheating at this time. I did that in a previous video. I tried wrapping it up with a video that had no voice. That was because I needed to speed it up. But I realized that I enjoy talking while I'm painting because I can stop and talk about what I'm actually doing rather than just reacting to what I'm watching like a TV show or a movie. I'm going to define the surface a little bit by putting some glares on it. Some glares, more reflective light than anything. I enjoy the expressions on dogs' faces, so I'm trying to get his subtly excited look. Don't want to zoom in too much because then I start getting too sharp compared to the rest of the piece. But I do want a certain area to have detail. So let me grab a little bit lighter color. I'm going to make this edge a little sharp here. This little glare in his nose a bit sharper. Let me make this come out. So I'm just about finished. I'm really enjoying his mouth. I don't want to skimp on that. I want to get this expression he's got going. Whoop. There we go. All right. So I'm just about finished. I'm going to add some highlights in the ear. The ear isn't too important to me. I like the impressionistic nature of it. I used to try to finish a lot of things to detail, but like I said, you can make choices in your work. And I'm trying to employ that a little bit more in everything that I do. I'm going to pull back this edge a little bit and pull back this edge a little bit. Let those eyes pop out. And move down into the body. And do the same thing. I'm going to pull out a few little light areas. Maybe where the fur rolls, where there's some peaks and valleys. What happens is you get a curve. If you ever look at like your bathtub, for example, that might not be the best example, but it is an example. Look at your bathtub where in the bottom, if it's like porcelain or something, look at where it rolls on a corner. And you'll notice that that corner probably has a glare in the very peak or the very valley of it, I mean. And then you look at the top lip of your bathtub where it rolls up to like the top area on the edge. And you'll see that on the corner, just like the valley of the bottom of the bathtub, has a little glare as well, a little hot spot, a little highlight. That's because light reflecting off of it is catching the areas of that any surface at the most perpendicular angle to your vision. So if you look at your cheeks, yeah, you have glares on your cheeks, but also in those little dips under the bags under your eyes, and I don't mean the ugly bags, I mean just not old people bags. No offense to anyone who's older out there. I've got bags under my eyes. But if you look under the bags of your eyes, you also have a little glare there when you shine light on it, because that's perpendicular just as much as the peak of your cheek. So I like finding peaks and valleys, and that's something that I also learned a little bit. I mean, it's something that I've seen but hadn't really, I guess, respected or observed until I heard my friend Tom Richmond mention it. I believe it was on his blog. You should check that blog out too. It's a wonderful, wonderful little resource. And I'm going to go ahead and add some more peaks right here to this. So it's defining that cushion that he's sitting on. I want that to be clear that there's an edge right there, and that's why his paws can curve down. And you just bring it back. But keep it nice and soft. The great thing about round brushes is you can paint impressionistic without strokes. You can get a soft edge without a feathered brush, without an airbrush. And I really enjoy that. Alright, so I'm finishing up these lights. I'm going to put a little in his armpit here. A little extra. I'm trying to make the contrast a little lower as I recede to his back, because that goes back into space. It's less interesting to me, and probably less interesting to the viewer. and I'm just taking advantage of that as best I can. I'm going to bring out some more highlights, maybe make his muscle look a little stronger, maybe make this little white spot in his fur stand out. This is a color change, not a surface change. So I'm trying to make that distinction by maybe approaching it with a different texture, with a different brush stroke. But I don't want to lose the impression and the style that I'm going for in this piece. Still just a sketch, but these little things are important for when you hit the big show and you have an actual commission or something that you want to finish to a quality. You get a much lighter color. I really like this area where his ear pops out a little bit. Goes up and over. Don't want to get too light with it though. No whites. Just enough to almost make him glowing. Not really glowing, but it looks as though the light behind him is creating some sort of vignette. Alright, and I want his shoulder. I really enjoy how his shoulder pops up, so I'm going to pull a lighter color and I'm going to throw it on here. Right on this edge. Just sharpen it up a little bit. And then let it recede right there. Just soften it right there. And then I'll let this roll into the cushion behind him. Sort of a big, maybe like a lawn chair or some sort of deck chair that he's sitting on with those cushions. If you've ever been out on a deck in the summer, I want to take this light and I want to be fair about that light. What I mean is I want to add a little above his head, because one thing my art teacher in high school, yes, taught me is don't let background colors change based on foreground elements. Like, I don't want to create that edge of this light on that ear without continuing that lighter color above his ear, just a little bit. You can even fudge it, but it's a bad idea to let one color start and stop just because there's a hand in the foreground or something. Or you make, I would make a blue background element and then it's red on the other side of a finger. That looks terrible. And it looks contrived, it looks fake. It's like tangent edges in a piece. You don't want tangent edges. What a tangent edge is where two elements or lines in a piece connect. Just in case you don't know it. A lot of you are probably like, yeah, I know what a tangent edge is. But I gotta be safe, Some people were watching this and like, what is he talking about? So a tangent edge is an element of a piece of artwork or a picture or any kind of image where a line or a surface connects with another line or comes very close to connecting, and it looks like it might be intentional, but usually it looks very bad. I try to avoid that. I try to avoid reference that has that. I try to do my best to avoid that, but you can't always, so sometimes you have to change your reference. I'm going to make this lighter there. Add a little light under his eye. A little highlight here. Just trying to sharpen this up a little. Interesting, make it interesting to look at. Create some nice surface elements that people will go, ooh. Plus I enjoy it. I'm enjoying this piece too much to give up, but I have to, because it's been too long. You probably sat through about 8 podcasts to watch this, 8 videos, and I'm done. So let's see how this looks. It's pretty much finished. And let me frame it for you. There we go. There is my Italian Greyhound. There's a lot of things I can change about it. A lot of things are still shady down here, which I could probably touch up. But I definitely enjoyed painting this. I learned some stuff from it, and I hope you did too. Once again, you can see more of my work at JoeBluhm.com. And come back here and see another video. Hopefully I have one up a week or one up a day or as frequent as I can. My goal is one a day, so we'll see. So thanks a lot.